So lay down your burdens, lay down your shame.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay.
We're sitting on folding chairs
And they're not very comfortable.
in the room in which we recorded the first video we recorded. And it's because we are in the midst of a move. That's why we're doing this. It's been perhaps 2 years.
Since we recorded.
Yeah, at least a year and a half, I think, since we recorded something. So since we're about to move from the house, I thought this might be the last video. We'll move this Wednesday.
Okay.
So how would we bring people up to speed on what's going on?
Where were we the last time we did it?
We were doing sewing. We were showing them, we were doing the quilts.
Ah, okay.
And they kind of were getting a sense of the visual, spatial.
Abby's quilt? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if we're gonna, we could talk quilts. Chad and Joanne came for several weeks to help us to get the house ready to sell. Joanne was very, very helpful in helping us by getting Quinn's t-shirt quilt
Our youngest son.
finished up.
Yeah, she's done a t-shirt quilt for most of her children, and he wanted one, so that was the last.
And he'd saved t-shirts for it, so and Joanne helped. And it was good. It was a good experience to have them here. Chad and Joanne are getting ready. Well, they're called and set apart
And
as
serving a
missionaries,
mission
but they're waiting
to get in country. So it's 9 months since COVID hit. So with the onset of COVID, much less activity outside the house. Carrie stopped driving pretty naturally when that hit. There wasn't any.
Well, it was time.
It's time to stop doing
Spatial
that.
things were getting. I could tell, but it was harder and harder to figure out driving, and so it just seemed like time to not drive anymore.
She said in August of this year, so that would be 2.5 years from diagnosis, a month, 4 years from when we saw the first symptoms, that she's having more floaties in her eyes that seem to be permanent things, so visually.
Yeah.
A little bit of progression in the problem space.
Yeah. So.
What else are you experiencing?
Oh, well, a lot of confusion. There's a lot of things that I can't put together anymore.
Doesn't have a calendar, doesn't.
Yeah, I don't ever know what time it is or what day it is.
Days.
I'll look at the headline on the newspaper to see what day it is. That's as good as anything, I guess.
Today, though.
I don't have a calendar of things anymore.
Today is the 3rd-year anniversary of having seen the first neurologist, and then setting up our appointment with Dr. John Hart Jr., who gave us the first diagnosis a month from now, 3 years and a month, or 2 years and 11 months from now. So that's kind of an anniversary. We feel very blessed.
Very blessed. And talking with Dr. Hart, he said, people with this condition can spend years in having eye surgeries and this and that and the other, trying to figure out what it is. And he was the right man.
Yep. Within
We're
30
very,
minutes,
very lucky to.
he had a sense of what it was.
Yeah.
He offered to do as a kind of experimental treatment that they're using with TBI, traumatic brain injury patients, where they did stimulation, which is helping on word recall with people that have had TBI. And so Carrie went and did that starting a year and a half ago, and did that for about 6 months. Did 2 weeks, 3 different sessions in 2 weeks, and then COVID interrupted what was supposed to be the 4th session. But Christine Soka-Dugas is PhD student, has written up a paper that was in a review for a medical journal about Carrie's condition and the experience of that treatment, which was...
They learned some things from it.
And Carrie learned some things from it. Explain a little bit, what did she teach you in terms of...
Oh yeah, there were just some coping skills on things.
Like what? Do you remember?
There's some following your hands when you're looking for things. So you're scanning the whole space. And
it makes her eyes go to spaces that her eyes might not look if she uses her hands. It makes her look broader and following her hands to look at different things.
Yeah, and they did a lot of different testing sort of things, using a variety of different things.
But psychological test, visual spatial testing. Testing.
Yeah.
And tested her with the stimulation to see what that did. And it was
There
interesting.
were electrodes on my scalp, and they could, fire up different parts of it to see what was going on. Yeah. It was kind of interesting.
Yeah, there was some data Carrie was able to give.
Yeah.
We hope that it helps in solving this disease at some point.
Yeah.
In some way.
Or in some way that somebody uses it. Yeah. So there was that. We did that.
So, what's the new? So there's things that you're losing in terms of capability.
Yeah.
But
So cooking is, following a recipe, of course, is challenging, and so Dad's been doing a whole lot more of the cooking. I can help, but yeah.
You're still doing reading though. Still doing a lot of reading. Able to do that, but it tends to be.
I'm doing more audiobooks just because they're easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can sit down with the book still, which
It's
is
fortunate.
Which is nice.
We bought an iPad that she's able to watch videos on, which is helpful. Streaming videos is helpful.
Kind of some relaxation, sort of.
In the evening,
In
we've
the
noted
evenings.
that sundown.
It's called sundowning, actually, with dementia. That by 7 o'clock, the energy level just
dissipates.
disappears. So,
Yeah.
and we've noticed that with me. I'm ready for bed much earlier than I had been.
Yeah. What's new capabilities? Are there anything new that you're able to do, though? Different things that we hadn't anticipated, skills that you're growing.
You have something in mind?
Well, Carrie's more peaceful now.
Well, kind of have to be.
More
When you don't
confident.
know what time it is or what day it is, you just kind of have to say it doesn't matter.
And I think it's useful to her. It's useful to me because she has a sense of peace. She needs more peace. Contention, arguing is it's not helpful at all.
And clutter is not very helpful for me either, and so it's
So the house
challenging
being
right
torn
now.
apart.
Yeah, so Abby and Emma Kai are here helping us to pack up stuff, and that's been very helpful.
2 of our daughters and our son-in-law. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, the house is a big mess. 'cause
Well, we're going to have some
in
challenges.
transition.
So Carrie came home 12 weeks ago yesterday and said, I have the idea that we should move to Arizona to be closer to our second daughter, who would be able to provide some help to us.
Because she
So she's able to do
she
that.
is not working right now, and she is not, she just has
That capacity to
time
do
on her
that.
hands.
So that started
she's
the
been
process.
helpful, yeah.
We also bought an RV.
Which
was
we don't know why.
We don't know why. It was an idea that came to Carrie on the Thursday after, and it was kind of a strange idea, but it felt like the right thing to do. But we're still kind of wondering Because we
How
ended
does
up
this fit into
we ended
it?
up buying a house. We thought we might be without a house for a little while, then that didn't happen. We bought the RV and then found a house 2 weeks later to buy.
And our ministry brother, who,
And when we said we were buying that second house, buying the house, he said, "Kip, you bought an RV. You bought a house last week. Are you buying a house this week? Don't buy a house again next week. This isn't sustainable. Don't continually buy houses every week."
he's a mortgage guy, so he would.
He would know that's not a good idea to do.
Yeah, it was funny. We laughed about it, but yeah. So we've kind of, put in place a bunch of different things, and we aren't really sure
How it works. We know that there'll be some transition things here where the routine in this house is something Carrie's going to lose when we move to a new house.
right.
Her sense of
And I have done a lot of walking over the last several years, really.
4 miles
Get
a day,
out,
quite often.
get out and walk nearly every day. I haven't recently because it's colder, but that I'm going to lose. I'm going to have to figure out
That
what my exercise looks like and
she probably won't as we move
where
there.
things are in the house, and
Even in the community, she probably won't have a sense of map for where we're moving to at all.
No. As we were looking at homes, getting ready to do that in Arizona, Abby and Kip would talk about, at this street and this street, and I can't follow.
So once she loses,
That way.
once she
So-
leaves here on the map she has of our community here, she won't have
I won't have.
A
I'll
new
have to
map.
develop a new map.
or if you
Sense
develop
of-
one,
Yeah,
you
I
may
don't know.
not have one
Yeah,
because the visual spatial things.
and because I'm not driving, it doesn't matter if I don't know where I.
But you have to be more trusting. You have to, people are going to get me where I need to be, and I don't have to do this.
Or I just don't do things.
Yeah,
Things fall away.
And
It's important.
not as important. The more important things are the things that stay. I listen to Carrie carefully when she says something that needs to be done. That I try to pay attention, because when she has an idea, it's usually something that's important. What are we grateful for?
Each other.
Yeah. Carrie has good health.
Yeah.
I have good health.
Yeah.
This isn't affecting. She sleeps well. It's a gabapentin she takes for her burning tongue, which appears to have become associated with PCA. There's some level of burning tongue, which wasn't true when we started this
Right.
all. She has that feeling now, and the gabapentin helps her sleep well.
Yeah.
But she takes only Aricept. We're not sure if that does a lot, but those are the only 2 drugs. Our children are very helpful to us and have been very supportive in all of this. We appreciate them.
And the overall big thing is that Dr. Hart, first time we went in to visit him, he said, "Okay, I'm going to write you a prescription for an antidepressant." And I said, "I don't really think I need one."
And he wouldn't let
and
us
he
leave.
wouldn't let us leave the office without
Without
one.
one.
So I got it. Did we fill it?
Yeah, I think we filled
Did
it.
we fill it? But
Hasn't-
bottom line is,
You haven't taken one of the pills.
I don't feel a depression, which is a huge blessing.
Yeah.
I guess I would say it's not that I'm especially happy.
No,
But I'm just not-
It's a struggle
I'm
for you.
not-
The work you have to do
Right.
every day to
It's
do.
challenging.
It's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
work. It's hard mental work. But you don't have depression.
Yeah.
Which is
And I should be having, basically,
Yeah.
according to the doctor. So
we think
there's
that
a
is a
huge
very
blessing.
serious blessing from God in our lives.
And it's something I pray that it'll continue to be that. 'Cause
In our religion, we talk about the gift of the Holy Ghost, being given the gift of the Holy Ghost at time of baptism. And a few years ago, Carrie read directed to a quote where one of our church leaders said, the gift of the Holy Ghost can maximize our happiness.
Yeah.
It's not that there's no pain, it's not that there's no work, but it can maximize our happiness.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's enough.
Yeah, we're off to Arizona. Oh, I guess we should mention though, we've loved living in Texas, and the people here, the ward and in the community, it's a great community, and we've talked a lot about that. Texas has been good to us.
Yeah, these people have been very kind to
Yeah.
us. We will be sad to leave here.
We will.
You know, I've been following some of the PCA support groups, and there's a lot of people in the world, a lot more people than there were a few years ago, that are diagnosed with this condition.
Is it becoming more common, or just the diagnosis?
That diagnosis is becoming more common, that it's being differentiated from Alzheimer's. And there's a lot of people working hard to, those that have the disease, those that support them in getting through the disease. And, I've recently been feeling we can perhaps listen to people with dementia more closely. They have more to teach us than we think. We shouldn't discount their abilities. When Carrie tells me we should move, okay, maybe we should move.
Well, I think you had a reassurance in that idea too.
Yeah, I did, but having confidence in your feelings and your clarity.
Yeah.
It's not about being able to solve a math problem or, being able to draw a particular type of picture. But there's real value in the skills that you're gaining, the knowledge that you have, the clarity of the knowledge you have.
Yeah. And consequently, this week there was an article in the newspaper that they have now found a blood test for Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Which is the first Alzheimer's anything positive that's happened in a long time. So, maybe dementia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in 20 years.
I mean, I don't have Alzheimer's, but it's kind of an
Closer
adjacent
to
sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you never know.
I love you.
I love you too. And this chair's really not very comfortable. And I keep sliding down. Maybe we should not move with these chairs. We have other chairs that are better. How's that?
Okay. Thanks for